Today on Public Eye News, cable news personality Tucker Carlson has been let go from Fox, and later news from a U.S. Embassy evacuations in Khartoum, the capital of Sudan.
Joe Sigourney will have your weather through the week, and Reed Hall will have your sports recap. I'm Ava Soloyan.
And I'm Brad Seaborg, and this is Public Eye News. Less than a week after settling a $787 million lawsuit, Fox News announced they would be parting ways with longtime host Tucker Carlson. Carlson was Fox's most popular host, with his show Tucker Carlson Tonight being viewed by millions in Fox's primetime 8 p.m. time slot. Tucker was involved in the Dominion voting system case against Fox when texts and emails sent by Carlson came to light. In the messages, Tucker doubted the legitimacy of the network's claims about Dominion's role in supposed election fraud. Also in the messages were critical comments Carlson had made about President Trump, including saying that he hated the former president passionately. In place of Tucker Carlson Tonight, Fox will air Fox News Tonight, which will feature a rotating variety of other Fox personalities. And Governor Gretchen Whitmer is continuing to work on roads around the state with a number of projects set to begin next week. Since Whitmer took office, over 20,000 lane miles of road have been repaired and over 1,400 bridges have been repaired or replaced. One of those bridges that will be worked on is the Silver River Bridge in Keweenaw County. Located on M28 and M26 in Eagle Harbor, the replacement is part of a $2.9 million investment. The work will detour traffic for 10 weeks through a posted route on US 41. The new bridge will feature wider 12-foot lanes with 8-foot shoulders that will make it safer for cyclists and pedestrians to travel through the area.
And NMU has named commencement speakers for the upcoming spring 2023 graduation ceremony. Former trustee James K. Haveman will receive an honorary doctorate degree in public health from NMU. Haveman has previously advocated for the university board's investment in creating a new NMU Center for Rural Health, as well as led an in-depth review into the university's mental health services. This year's student commencement speaker is senior Alexandra Johnson. Johnson is receiving a bachelor's degree in computer science with a minor in mathematics. She's previously spoken in graduation ceremonies, earning the honor in 8th and 12th grades from her hometown of Antioch, Illinois. Commencement will be held on May 6th at 10:30 a.m. in the Superior Dome. There will be local broadcasts available on WNMU-TV 13, as well as online at nmu.edu/commencement. And a businessman has pled guilty to bribing the head of a Michigan marijuana licensing board. John Delaney is the first conviction in a federal investigation of payoffs and other benefits given to board members before the board was dissolved in 2019. Delaney had a stake in a company that was seeking a marijuana license and accepted responsibility in the bribery case as soon as the investigation was launched. Delaney also said that he provided at least $68,000 in other benefits, including 2 private flights to Canada to Rick Johnson, a member of the board. Rick Johnson is also a former House Speaker, serving from 2001 to 2004. He is scheduled to plead guilty to bribery charges next Tuesday. 2 other lobbyists are due in court next week, Brian Pierce and Vincent Brown. Both men have agreed to plead guilty of conspiring to pass bribes to Johnson. All 4 members of the case are cooperating with investigators, which may assist them at sentencing. And CBS's Jared Hill had a chance to speak with business owners and representatives working to make the test strips for the opioid fentanyl more readily available across the nation. Take a look.
Behind the bar of this New York City pizza shop, in plain sight, are test kits meant to detect the potentially deadly opioid, fentanyl.
Whatever it takes to keep you alive.
Carla Hogan says with the business in the heart of Manhattan nightlife, stocking up was a no-brainer. Scar's Pizza is part of a growing network through the ASAP Foundation, increasing access to these tests as fentanyl, so potent and often laced into many other illicit drugs, creeps into communities.
The majority of fentanyl deaths that we have in this state are people who didn't know that they were taking fentanyl at the time that they ingested fentanyl.
The strips have long been considered drug paraphernalia and have been illegal in many states. But since 2022, more and more states are decriminalizing them, including Kentucky, Utah, and Mississippi. Texas Representative Tom Oliverson sponsored a bill moving through his state.
I think for somebody who already is abusing drugs, the difference between having these strips and not having these strips is the opportunity to go to rehab versus be killed instantly.
We don't want to tell you what to do. We just want to make sure you're safe, and we want to make sure that you have access to those safeties, whatever those may be.
A short-term fix as the nation grapples with a larger crisis. Jared Hill, CBS News, New York.
Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back with your weather and national news after this short break.
The Chelsea movement had a life of its own.
The struggle for Chelsea's freedom is also a struggle of an entire people.
After all these years, I finally had the chance to say I'm innocent.
I was not an angel on her side. At the same time, I was not the devil.
Free Chol Soo Lee, Monday, April 24th at 10, 9 Central on Independent Lens.
Welcome back to Public Eye News. I am Joe Sigourney here with your weather update. Taking a look at the sky cam right now. It's a little washed out, but there is some blue sky in there somewhere. A few clouds have been rolling through, but it's good to finally see the sun again. Taking a look at the map, current temperatures, starting in Houghton, it's 36 degrees and partly cloudy there. Over in Ironwood, it's 37, and down in Iron Mountain, it is 43 degrees cloudy. Menominee is similar, 41 and cloudy, and Escanaba is 45 and partly cloudy. And over here on the western side of Manasseke, it's 44 degrees. Sault Ste. Marie, 37 and cloudy, and back here in Marquette, it is 41 degrees, mostly sunny. Winds right now is north at 7 miles an hour, and our barometric pressure is 30.11 inches and steady. And tonight we can expect clouds to roll in and a low of 30 degrees, and winds will increase. They'll be north-northwest at 9 miles an hour. And tomorrow we can expect some rain showers, a high of 39 degrees, low of 31, and winds will be north at 11 miles an hour. And then taking a look at the rest of our week here, on Wednesday it'll be a high of 42 degrees, low of 32 with clear skies. Thursday a high of 45 and a low of 38, mostly sunny, so pretty similar for Wednesday and Thursday. And then Friday we'll be expecting rain showers, a high of 47, so the highest temperatures throughout the week, and a low of 37. So it is warming up outside, and that's really what you got to look forward to. Back to you guys.
Thanks so much for the weather update, Joe. Jumping back into national news, the former Louisville police officer who fatally shot Breonna Taylor has been rehired. Miles Cosgrove was fired from his position at the Louisville Metro Police Department in 2021 for violating use of force procedures and failing to use a body cam. An FBI investigation found that Cosgrove likely fired the shot that killed Breonna Taylor in March 2020 during a raid on her apartment. On Saturday, the Carroll County Sheriff's Office announced that Cosgrove was hired to the department. About a dozen people came to protest his hiring in downtown Carrollton, holding signs and chanting against Cosgrove's new position. Robert Miller, chief deputy in Carroll County, said that Cosgrove was cleared of his charges in the Breonna Taylor case when speaking about Cosgrove's hiring. Last November, the Kentucky Law Enforcement Council voted against revoking Cosgrove's state peace officer certification, which allowed him to apply to other law enforcement positions around the state. An illegal dispute in Montana could curb the government's use of aerial retardants against wildfires. Advocacy group Forest Service Employees for Environmental Ethics has requested an injunction blocking officials from using aerial fire retardants until they get a pollution permit. The group is concerned about pollution of waterways and the potential harm that comes with it to both human and animal populations. A government study found that misapplied retardant could negatively impact dozens of species, including shrimp, spotted owls, and various fish. Forest Service officials acknowledge that retardant has been dropped into waterways more than 200 times in the last decade, typically by accident or when considered necessary for fire suppression. Little harm was seen to humans in a study done by the Forest Service. The dispute continues in light of larger and more destructive wildfires seen across the U.S. due to climate change, people moving to fire-prone areas, and overgrown forests. Government attorneys said that to totally avoid release of aerial fire suppressants into waterways is to prohibit its use entirely. This is concerning to government officials and firefighters who say that fire retardant can be critical to slowing the advancement of fires. A ruling from U.S. District Judge Dana Christensen is expected sometime after a court hearing today in a federal court in Missoula. And as another wave of violence erupts across the country of Sudan, tearing the nation into civil war, foreign citizens are struggling to evacuate. This weekend, President Biden ordered the evacuation of U.S. personnel from the embassy in Khartoum, but thousands of Americans still remain in the war-torn country. Nicole Skanga has more details from the White House.
U.S. Embassy personnel safely arrived at Ramstein Air Force Base in Germany following a daring airlift operation from the embassy in Sudan.
We're taking further steps to support Americans and are exploring options to return a diplomatic and consular presence to Sudan as soon as possible.
U.S. Special Forces deployed from Camp Lemonnier in Djibouti Saturday to carry out the mission. Their Chinook helicopters left the base, refueled in Ethiopia, and then landed in the capital city, Khartoum, late that night. In less than an hour, they evacuated just under 100 people before making the trip back. The group was then flown to Germany. Secretary of State Antony Blinken monitored the mission as it was carried out.
I could not be prouder of our team, most of whom are now en route back to the United States.
An estimated 16,000 American citizens remain behind in Sudan. The Biden administration says most are dual citizens who don't want to leave, but for those that do, they're being told now is not the time. Sudan is seeing intense fighting as two of the country's rival generals battle for power.
It is not safe right now for another evacuation attempt. That would actually put Americans in more danger, not less.
National Security Council spokesperson John Kirby says several dozen Americans did make it into a UN convoy headed to Port Sudan in the east. The Pentagon is considering deploying U.S. Navy ships to the Red Sea to help with evacuations. Nicole Skanga, CBS News, the White House.
After this break, Reed will have your sports recap. We'll be back after this.
Watch the 2023 spring commencement here on WNMU-TV, Saturday, May 6th at 10 a.m.
Welcome back. I'm Reed Hall with your sports update. It is once again that time of year for avid football fans. The NFL Draft's first round is set to kick off this Thursday at 8 p.m. with the Carolina Panthers on the clock. Rounds 2 and 3 of the draft are set for Friday at 7 p.m., while rounds 4 through 7 will take place starting at noon on Saturday. The Lions will make their first selection at pick 6, a pick they acquired from the Rams in the Stafford trade 2 years ago, and make a second first-round selection at 18. The Packers will pick 15th with their one and only first-round selection. Heading into draft weekend, the Lions will have 9 picks, while the Packers have 10. A story to follow through draft weekend is that of former NMU Wildcat Jake Witt, a once tight end turned offensive tackle, has his hopes on being drafted in this year's draft. While still new to the tackle position, Witt's draft stock has quickly risen as of late and could be drafted in the later rounds. Witt, who attended Central Michigan's Pro Day, turned the heads of NFL scouts with a performance that was equal to, and if not better than, the tackles invited to the NFL Combine. In more news about the success of former Wildcats, former ice hockey player Hank Crone recently won both the ECHL MVP and Rookie of the Year awards. Just a year removed from college, where Crone posted 31 assists and 44 total points in 32 games, Crone has shined in professional hockey, posting a 105-point season in 69 games, led by his 49 goals. Crone also led the ECHL in power play points at 39 and finished second in power play goals with 16. In addition to being named MVP and Rookie of the Year, Crone also received ECHL Rookie Team and All ECHL First Team honors. The last time a rookie won both MVP and Rookie of the Year was back in the 2012-2013 season. And that is all the sports I have for you guys today. Back to the desk.
Thanks for that sports update, Reed. We sure do have some great athletes here at NMU.
We do. It's great to hear about all the success that they've had recently out just competing and even what they're doing after school.
Yeah, I remember watching Crone back when he was playing for the Cats. He's quite a player, and especially with our women on the track side as well. I heard they had a very successful weekend last year.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. I love to go to the games and watch them do well.
Yeah, I think we even got a new hurdle record at the weekend.
Do we really?
Yeah,
okay.
I think our women's 400 hurdles reset the record.
That's fantastic, yay. Have you been to any of the meets yet this year? Or?
I haven't made it to any of the meets. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for you today on Public Eye News. I'm Brad Seaboard.
I'm Ava Sahoyan.
And we'll see you tomorrow.
The preceding program was produced by WNMU-TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television, in studios located in Elizabeth and Edgar Hardin Hall.